All right, Megan, welcome to the BlockHash podcast. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
It's a pleasure to have you on. Before we kind of jump in and start talking about solo music and everything you guys are doing, tell me a little bit more about yourself. I'm curious. What's your background like? Have you always been interested in crypto and blockchain? What's your story? How'd you get here?
Sure. Well, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been here for about 8 years, but it was close to 3 years ago or so that I really started getting interested in the blockchain space. I was working with a few colleagues who had side projects that they had been working on that had to do with crypto or the blockchain space and talked about it a ton. They were making money and having fun, learning a lot. And I hadn't really gotten involved myself, just kind of a sidebar to a lot of things. And then what really changed that for me was I'm a big fan of Ella Vest and Sally Krawcheck and what she's done for women in the financial industry. And one of the things that she says is that boys are taught to pursue money and to grow it, and girls are taught to save it and just be careful with it. And so she really pushes back against that in teaching women to be aggressive. And then I think it was around the time, like 3 years ago, that she wrote a letter actually advising women to kind of steer clear of crypto and just be careful. And it really went against a lot of what I felt like she had been teaching up until that point. And I don't know if it's the middle child in me or what, but it made me want to really get involved and learn for myself and participate in it. And so that's when I started doing a little bit of my own research, just spending more time on Twitter, participating in those conversations, and then actually eventually dabbling in some projects with the colleagues that I mentioned. So, which finally led us to solo music.
Got it. Do you have a background in music as well?
I do not personally. My background is all business operations,
Okay.
but we do have a couple of co-founders on our team who have spent their entire careers in the music industry.
Got it. So how did this synergy come together with solo music, wanting to combine blockchain with, I guess, with the music industry and help make it better? What made that all come together?
We actually have a pretty large co-founding team, and that is really what all came together was the people. Our founder and CEO was one of my colleagues that I mentioned that had been in the blockchain space for a really long time. And honestly, his entire career has been in tech in some way, shape, or form. And he had this idea. He came to me about it and with another founder and was like, we want to do this. Do you want to be a part of it? Because we had built so much respect for each other and had worked with each other for a really long time at that point. And then we came together with two co-founders who'd been in the music and marketing industries for a while, Tim Gerst and Nick Hartley, who are with ThinkSwell here in Nashville. And so they manage a lot of management for marketing for different musicians and different people in town, as well as Nick had experience in managing musicians and artists as well.
Very cool. So with all that experience and everyone on this, large founding team to kind of put this together, what's the goal of solo music? What are you guys trying to accomplish?
We are working specifically in the music industry to increase adoption of blockchain technology. There are so many use cases of different things that you can apply to the music industry that can help creators. And as I'm sure you know, with the different people you've interviewed and the research that you do, there's a lot of different companies that are popping up and trying to tackle a wide variety of issues. And we're one of those. And I think there's a lot of room for the different issues and a lot of room for different companies to kind of tackle what they see as a space that they can make a difference for the creators who sometimes get caught in the middle or don't end up with their fair share from some of their artistic talents.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had tons of conversations about that and how you can use blockchain, specifically NFTs, to help artists, individuals, performers, kind of take back some of their freedom and their power in a lot of ways and be able to do more with their rights, their music, their work in this industry. How are you guys tackling that? Are you guys also using and leveraging NFTs, or are you doing it in a different way?
Our roadmap starts with NFTs, just like you're describing. We actually announced this morning an NFT with CMAs, which is the Country Music Awards or Association. Their award show is next week. And so we'll be partnering with them to start creating and growing their digital community, which is really exciting. But NFTs can be used. We have a few songwriters that have partnered with us who are really excited to share some of their story a little bit more. Songwriters are ones where they have so much talent and they're such a critical part of the music industry. And so often once we sit down and talk to them, they have so much more to share. They have so much more artistic talent. They have more stories. They have different avenues in which they can monetize who they are and start reaching an audience directly as well. So that's a big avenue that we see as opportunity, as well as all kinds of things like selling demos, surprising audiences with VIP experiences through NFTs. There's a lot of variety of ways, and it really comes down to how does that individual, the creative, want to share more of who they are and build their digital community. We can sit in a room and try to determine it for them, but that's just not going to be the most effective way. They have a story to tell and something to share, and NFTs are just a wonderful new avenue for them to do so.
So are you allowing them to do that through NFTs via a platform, or just giving them the tools they need to create these NFTs? Or what all do you provide to an artist or someone that wants to partner with you guys to kind of make this stuff come to fruition?
Sure. Yeah, we have our own platform at solomusic.io, and we only work with artists that have applied and that sit down and commit to the process. It's not just an open place for anyone to just throw up their own NFTs. We want to make sure that they're authenticated, one, and the artist who is selling them is who they say they are. But two, we really want to capitalize on the strategy. This space is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And you have to develop a strategy now that will evolve as the space evolves as well. And so we want to partner with creatives to be that expert that can guide them, that can help them with how to initiate that digital community and start creating things that have lasting value and utility versus just a flash in the pan cash grab that leaves their audience and fans feeling burned, because that's not what anyone wants.
Oh yeah. Gotcha. What kind of artists have you guys been able to partner with thus far, or bring on to your platform?
Well, like the CMAs that I mentioned earlier, and then we have a partnership with Eric Pasley, which will be the next announcement that you'll probably see from us. He's coming soon, and he has some really creative artwork and different things that he wants to share with his fans. He's an incredible country songwriter here in Nashville that has written quite a few number ones, and he'll be up next, as well as Tommy Cecil, who is another songwriter in town. And then we have quite a few others that I can't share quite yet, but we'll be excited to share shortly.
I don't know if you can talk about it or not, but what's the partnership consist of with the CMAs? Are you guys doing something in particular with them, or are you guys not allowed to talk about it yet?
Well, I can tell you this. Next Friday, we'll be dropping their first NFT, which will be just the initiation of their digital community. So if you're lucky enough to get in on that drop and capture one of those NFTs, they will be a really approachable price point, which is just another part of our model too, is as we break down the barriers to entry for an artist to get involved in the space, we need to break down the barriers to entry to the average fan and community that's out there, because most fans aren't going to have $100,000 to just drop on an NFT. They're going to want to be involved in the digital community, but it needs to be done in an approachable way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You definitely want it to have ease of accessibility for a lot of these people so that they can get into NFTs as well. Oh, I don't know what happened.
All good.
Oh, I'm dying. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. So my question was, where do you think the future of NFTs are going in the music industry? Because it feels like there's a lot that can happen to take, I guess, music and the music industry to a different level, whether it's through labels, through artists, and the utility of NFTs and what you can put into them. Have you guys given thought into like maybe what that can evolve into, maybe future album releases or features or debuts or some type of promotional content, dropping maybe music videos into NFTs? What is your guys' kind of vision for that in the future?
Absolutely. I think that in general, NFTs are just scratching the surface of the long-term utility. And we can speculate on where it'll go, but I think the first things we'll see are there will be a ton of crowdfunding. And I know you just interviewed a crew on your podcast that was crowdfunding a film. And I think we'll begin to see that in music, and already have a little bit as well, of individuals who don't have access to the labels and are wanting to stay independent, starting to do crowdfunding through NFTs to promote and to fund their albums. I think alongside of that, we'll see NFTs used in royalties, which we've already started to see people talking about that and working on that. And that is in our roadmap as well. And beyond that, there's all kinds of utility that we have yet to experience with the metaverse and concerts. And, you know, I know there's concerts happening in Roblox and digital merchandise and all kinds of things. And we haven't even tapped into what that community will look like, 10 years from now.
Yes, that was what I was going to ask you, is about the metaverse, because it seems like that's like the topic everyone wants to dive into right now, especially after Facebook kind of rebranding to Meta. Do you guys envision yourself maybe doing something in the metaverse through these partnerships with some artists at some point, given how much traction it's going to get and how popular it's getting, and the fact that it's also a really great place to display NFTs and kind of bring that stuff to life? Is that something that might be on your roadmap?
Oh, absolutely. I think that every company will eventually have some kind of footprint in the metaverse, even if they don't realize it right now. And as we saw the pivot or evolution of Facebook, moving that direction, it's like evolve or die is really kind of the forefront of Mark's mind, probably. And so I think that we'll begin to see that with other companies as well in the music space and across industries.
Got it. So if someone is a artist, creator, musician, anyone in the music industry that wants to do something like this and that wants to do it with you guys, what's the process? How do they get set up? How do they get a meeting? What do they do?
Absolutely. You can check us out at solarmusic.io, and we have an application right on our website for you to go fill out your information, let us know who you are, share your social handles with us so we can kind of get an idea. And then we'll reach back out to you and we'll chat. We'll sit down or do a video call like this and whiteboard with you about the potential that your career could take by looking at NFTs and seeing how they could work for you and your fan community.
Perfect. Do you guys have like a community like on Discord or something like that where people can chit chat?
Absolutely. We're on Discord, and you can follow the link on our website for that as well. And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram.
Perfect. I'll be sure to put some of that stuff in the description for the episode so they can easily find it. Other
Wonderful.
than that, Megan, thank you for taking the time to come on the show today and explain what you guys are doing. Very exciting. I personally love the idea of combining music with NFTs. I think there's a lot of benefit for artists that do that. It's getting very popular. I'm sure you see it every single day. And congrats on the partnership with the CMAs. I love the CMAs. So that's got to be really cool.
Thank you.
Of course. Anyways, enjoy your day. Hope to talk to you again in the future.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thanks, Brandon.
All right. See you, Megan.